At this time, we're going to call forward the tax assessor's office. They need to speak to us and make a special presentation regarding the property tax notices and communication plan. John, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, City Manager, ladies and gentlemen of the council. My name is John Williams. I'm the Deputy Chief Appraiser. I work for the Board of Assessors. I'm here today to go over the communication plan. Just to catch you up to date, you are all aware, at least if you were here last week, what took place Monday and Tuesday of last week. Since then, the city manager did call for the strategy meeting that he had mentioned to you all. Had that on Wednesday, met with most of the same people that he had had in a meeting the day prior. And we discovered some things that needed to go into this plan, and I've tried to include all of that in this plan. Thursday, I was able to meet with select members of the Muskogee County School Board and Dr. Lewis's staff so that they could ask questions of me prior to me meeting at their school board meeting last night. So I was able to spend some time with Ms. Middleton was there with me as well. We answered all their questions that we could, and went forward with the meeting on Monday, which was last night. Met at the school board. I gave them the same exact presentation that I gave you last Tuesday. There was no more new information presented to them at that time. All right, so tonight, you all will vote on the adoption of the millage ordinance and the revised schedule. Pending the outcome of that vote, we plan to communicate the resulting proposed ordinance and how that impacts our schedule moving forward with notices from our office, tax bills from the tax commissioner's office. Friday, June 30th is the scheduled mailing of the, not only, here it says the 2017 important notice, and I'll read the bullet points of that notice to you all here in a moment later on in the slideshow. But we send our annual notice of assessment. It used to be called the OTN, or official tax notice. One of the things I'm trying to do is take tax out of our name, but I'm not very successful at that. It contributes to a lot of the confusion on what we do. We appraise property, and our Board of Assessors assess property. We don't have anything to do with taxes other than to establish the value of property for taxation purposes. So if you hear me eliminate tax from our name, you'll know why. In July, so that notice goes out June 30th. In the month of July, the tax commissioner has told me that she will notify the lenders and the mortgage companies of the change in the form of a letter directly to them. October 1, the tax commissioner's ad valorem tax bill will be mailed with a further, more detailed explanation of the change. Proposed media outlets to be utilized to get our message out. CCG websites as a whole, not only the home page, the pages of the mayor, city manager, deputy city managers, 311, any page that is literally sitting at the CCG site, we can put a message out there. Also, the other websites that I see fit to be utilized, or of course your website, if I may, City Council. Our new public access site, I put a blurb in there, so what that is. That's publicaccess.columbusga.org. That's just a little self-promotion. That is the site that I want everybody to go to when they're looking up anything to do with how we appraise property or how the tax commissioner puts a tax bill on that property. So that is the go-to source for that information. Tax commissioner's website and my Board of Assessors website as well. In our strategy meeting, we talked about the variety of avenues with CCG TV. They can do public service announcements, recommended interviews by you, Madam Mayor, City Manager, Tax Commissioner, representatives from my office as well. We also plan to utilize local news media, the TV and print, possible interviews again with the Mayor, City Manager, Tax Commissioner, myself, I'm sure the board chairman, my board chairman, Chester Randolph, would also be willing to do an interview as well. I plan to reach out to the real estate professional organizations I put in here, the Columbus Board of Realtors. There's a lot of attorneys that belong to that board, get information through that board. I can also put out information to not only our board attorney, Randy Lomax, he can get that information out to the attorneys. I'm sure the city attorney would also help me in that matter. And then social media was brought up. Of course, the mayor, city manager have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. I have one of those, but it's not connected to my job. Anybody that wants to volunteer their social media as an avenue for us to get the message out, we'll be glad to do that. And the mayor, I've been told, is also committed to writing a letter to the mortgage companies. That would be also a way that we can get that message out. There's an asterisk on the previous slide that annotated the news release. The initial news release is short and concise. It is verbatim the message that the tax commissioner is going to put on her 2017 notice that goes out with our notice of assessment. I've got a mock-up of that. It's going to be a 3/4 inch size piece of paper. 3/4, 1/3, I'm sorry. My fractions are off today. It's been a long day. It's not going to be this color. It's going to be bright green. But the bullet comments here are the same that you see on the slide in front of you, and I'll just read them out for the record. This is directly from the tax commissioner, as I stated. For 2017 only, tax bills will be mailed October 1st, and the property tax will be due December 1st. There is no October 1st installment. Interest accrues December 2nd, and no penalty applies until after December 20th. That was given to me by the tax commissioner. That is the message that will be sent out with our notice of assessment at the end of this month. Possible additional press releases containing more details as they're made available, and we'll make those as they come about. And it was just a recommendation not only from the tax commissioner but from our office that all news releases be a collaborative effort between all the parties involved so that we maintain a concise and consistent message throughout.
John, we have Councilor Huff with a question.
Yes.
Question.
Sir.
You say interest accrues December 2nd going forward. Okay, so the interest will accrue every day. So if you pay by December 20th, you have no penalty, but you do pay the interest from the 2nd to the 20th.
I could speculate and answer that question for you, but I'm going to not do that and ask you to direct that question to the tax commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, John.
Anybody else?
No, not at this time.
That concludes my presentation.
Okay, we have the city manager.
Let me just say that we'll talk to the tax commissioner. That's an important question that you ask, and we'll make sure that her response is made available through all of the communication outlets that Mr. Williams has mentioned, but an important question.
All right, John. Thank you very much.
Thank
No
you.
further questions.